Hello everyone, my name is Phil Rimmer and this is my video presentation on humanism. This is the index that I will be covering in today's presentation. We'll start with what is humanism, the theorist Abraham Maslow, human motivation, the hierarchy of needs, Maslow's ideas versus other theories, key principles and learning outcomes, examples of the theory in practice, and other two theories that were part of it, Carl Rogers and Maria Montessori. So let's begin. Humanism seeks to engage the learner as a whole, where the intellect, feelings, social capacities, artistic and practical skills are given attention in the learning process. The purpose of education is for learners to progress towards autonomy and the realization of one's full potential, referred to as self-actualization. Maslow is remembered as one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century. He was born in 1908 in Brooklyn, New York, from Jewish parents that emigrated from Russia. He described his early childhood as unhappy and lonely. He earned all three of his degrees in psychology from the University of Wisconsin. During the 1950s, Maslow became one of the founders and driving forces behind the school of thought known as humanistic psychology. His theories, including the hierarchy of needs, self-actualization, and peak experiences, became fundamental subjects in the humanistic movement. Maslow first introduced his concept of hierarchy of needs in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Motivation. The basic thesis for Maslow's hierarchy of needs is that students progress through a set of sequential needs from physiological to self-actualization. As they move through the levels, they feel more comfortable in the learning environment and have the confidence to push further. So let's take a look at this hierarchy of needs. Start at level 1 is the psychological needs. Ask yourself this question: is the learning environment comfortable? Am I cold, hungry, or thirsty? Next level, safety and security. Am I safe or in danger while in the learning environment? Am I employed, health? 3. Love and belonging. Do I belong here? Is it welcoming? Am I respected and cared for? Do I have my family? Do I build relationships? 4. Esteem. Am I learning valuable things? Respect and confidence in what I'm doing? And finally, level 5. Am I being the best I can be? Moral, creativity, problem solving. In this quote, the full use and exploitation of talents, capacities, and personalities. In other words, people constantly in the process striving to reach their full potential. Self-actualization is not an endpoint or destination. It is an ongoing process in which people continue to stretch themselves and achieve new heights of well-being, creativity, and fulfillment. I want to share this interesting fact that I encountered on one of my resources. Was that in 1967, he encountered a nearly fatal heart attack. This humbled him to reassess some of his own goals. He stopped giving lectures and he became more focused on his family, especially on his granddaughter Jeannie. Well, she was born in 1968. He saw her as a model of self-actualization. So he gave him the idea of we were born with this near perfection. She was so innocent and joyful in his eyes. The bond that he had with her allowed him to get back to it, caused him to see more clearly of what mattered. In his final years, he was present in every single moment and taking so much in every time. And in some way, this tiny granddaughter of his was a vehicle of that. Some Maslow ideas compared to the theories. Um, Maslow felt that Freud's, I think you pronounce that Freud's, psychoanalytic theory and Skinner's behavioral theory were too focused on the negative or pathological aspects of existence. He also felt that these theories neglected all of the potential and creativity that human beings possess. And Maslow's theories were more focused on maximizing well-being and achieving one's full potential. Key principles on learned outcomes. First, the purpose of education is for learners to progress towards autonomy and the realization of one's full potential. Learning is personal growth. Attention is on human freedom, dignity, potential, and respected as an individual. Learners are in control of their education and learner-centered. And teachers provide students with a non-threatening environment so that they will feel secure to learn. Some examples of the theory in practice would be, for example, a student who is hungry won't have as much attention to give to learning. So schools offer meals to students so that their need is met and they can focus on education. Providing choice is the key to humanistic learning theory. The learning is student-centered and it gives students a control of their education. For example, in my Spanish 2 classes, students had to create their own travel itineraries on places they wanted to go. So that gave that ownership to them in activity. In some of my research, I found this interesting subject about grades, which it also came up in the book Grasp, chapter 4, where Resnick was talking about a story about his MIT students in the freshman years didn't receive any grades. But then another professor said that affected them, but it kind of came down to, so MIT students shouldn't be motivated for grades. So I want to say, humanistic teaches grades don't matter. Grading encourages students to work for the grade instead of doing things based on their own satisfaction and excitement of learning. Finally, routine, test, and memorization does not lead in meaningful learning. Cooperative learning lets children work together to find solutions to problems. Students work in groups of 3 or 4 with a specific role and make use of their talents. Teacher provides support and facilitates in groups discussions as needed. Provide engagement lessons to sway students to become self-motivated to learn. Another theorist called Carl Rogers was an American psychologist and one of the founders of humanistic approach. In his approach, were to be summed up in one quote, the quote on the slide would be a good choice. So I'm not going to read it to you, but that is kind of summarizes his approach there. So one of his big contributions is presence-centered therapy, also known as Rogerian therapy. Rather than viewing people as naturally flawed with problematic behavior and thoughts that require treatment, Rogerian therapy identifies each individual, the ability and desire for personal growth and change. And finally, Maria Montessori was an Italian teacher, physician, and pioneer of the theories in early childhood education. She is best known for the Montessori theory, an approach to education which emphasized individuality and independence in learning. She viewed education as a process which could occur in harmony with the learner's individual development facts. It also prioritized learner's choice. And finally, this is my bibliography, and thank you for your time.